Hi, I'm Jake Delhomme, quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. Leading my team to the Super Bowl was the most exciting moment in my career, but it doesn't compare to the time I've spent throwing the ball with my cousin Kevin. Join me and thousands of other Civitan members who volunteer at fundraisers, summer camps, and Special Olympic Games. To volunteer, contact your local Civitan club today or visit us on the web at civitan.org. Together, we can score a touchdown in your community.
Hello, my name is Keith Thompson. I'm president of Asheville Civitan Club this year. I'd like to invite each and every one of you to join us for the upcoming television series Spirit of Civitan TV. It's going to be on URTV, and we're going to be covering some of the important issues affecting our community. We're going to be meeting some of the civic leaders who are making a difference every day in the lives of our community, and making things better for our children and grandchildren, making this a better place in which to live. So we hope you will be able to join us and watch our series as it comes forward. Thank you. I'd like to welcome everyone to this beautiful late winter day in downtown Asheville. We're at Trinity Episcopal Church. This is the Asheville Civitan Club's regular meeting, and we're about to introduce 7 students from our local high schools to receive scholarships to help them along their way for going to college. Asheville Civitan Club has been around since 1921, serving the Asheville and Buncombe County community. And one of the things we've been doing for decades is to award scholarships to recognize the hard work and good citizenship and scholarship of our young people. And our goal is to help promote the next generation's success and to be able to carry our community and our country forward. I'm here with Cal Rimmers, who is the chair of our scholarship committee, to talk about how we go about selecting our students and about some of the history and some of what we've done in the past and what our goal is to continue in the future to be able to sustain the recognition of these fine young people. Cal, it's a pleasure to have you here today.
Our scholarship committee consists really of 14 Civitan Club members. Each 2 of them will go to one of the 7 high schools, and they will go through a process of seeking out the senior counselor, who will then become acquainted with the plans and goals of our program, and with their knowledge of kids will hopefully find us 6 or 8 or 10 students who fit our particular criteria, which is that we look at scholarship, we look at citizenship, and we look at financial need. And forth will come these applications, which our committee members will review, and then they will meet with each one of these students and discuss with them their life goals, what do they feel about college, how about their activities in high school. Then we sit down together, the 2 of them, only those 2 of them, and decide on that particular scholarship for that particular school. And then we meet on this occasion today to award the scholarships with the student and the counselor and the parents and the principal. And today we expect to have the superintendent of Buncombe County Schools and also the superintendent of Asheville City Schools. Maybe we'll even have our mayor join us, who is a Civitan member and a recipient of one of our past scholarships.
Well, that's good to note, because we've been doing this for so long now. It seems like our records only go back to 1990, but I just recently learned, to my great surprise, that one of our scholarship recipients was Roy Williams back in the 60s when he was a student at Robertson High School, and it allowed him to go on to college at Chapel Hill, where he played basketball with Dean Smith, and allowed him to then go on to coaching, and obviously, you know, the rest is history. He's hopefully going to win an NCAA tournament in a few weeks.
I hope so.
But that sort of potential for these young people to go on and do great things in service to their families and to their community and our country is something that we have a great deal of hope about, and that's why we do this.
Well, even our scholarship, while it doesn't provide the whole education, it provides an interesting impetus in a few cases. One example is we gave a scholarship a couple years ago to a young lady who was very much involved in community activities, not only here in this country but also in Haiti. Spent her summers down there. Picked a small Midwestern college. When she got there, they said, "Oh, we're acquainted with your Civitan scholarship. We've got a scholarship available here. Why don't you apply for it and see if you can get it?" She got it.
That's neat.
And then they came forth and said, "We've also got a grant for you that we can fit into this because of your particular interest." She got her first 2 years of college paid for.
That's great.
Through scholarships and grants.
Well, as a
And
parent,
we started it.
as a parent, coming up in a few years with having to address that same question, I think you're speaking to parents as much as you are to young people. What young people can do if they're listening to us right now to prepare to do successful work in high school, to practice good citizenship, because I know in past years we've had students who've served their local community and as a volunteer in food banks, in the Red Cross, in the hospital, and their local community clubs out in the rural areas in a lot of different ways, and that's part of what we're trying to encourage, isn't it?
Well, that is in every possible way. And it's always surprising the kids that come forth. We get kids that apply for this scholarship that are numbers 1, 2, and 3 in their class.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to high school, which is in the ancient times, 4.0 was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't exist anymore with all the advanced placements and all of the other courses the kids can take.
Mm-hmm.
They're up to 4.6.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the kind of kids that we get in here as graduates to be looked at. And yet they still have time for community service.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them very heavily. Now that doesn't mean that those students always win the scholarships. What it does mean is those students usually get a lot of scholarships.
All right.
So if we get further down the list with some kid that's in the upper 10% or 15 or 20%, that still meets the rest of our requirements. We're giving out scholarships to kids that are not the stars of their class, but the second stars.
Sure. Well, and the ability for them to shine through in the ways that they distinguish themselves in that form of community service that they're able to achieve while keeping up their grades and doing all the other things that are needed in high school. When we over the years have had young people come and be introduced by their school counselors, they really emphasize a lot of not only the things they do in their own school, but really those things outside of school that they do in their church, in their community, and serving those less fortunate, because that is obviously one of the things as Asheville Civitan Club we've been doing for generations. Our work with not only these scholarships and doing good citizenship awards, but with kids voting. Our work to help to provide support for Special Olympics and for the PEP program at Robertson High, serving the needs of the special needs children in our county and our city schools to be able to reach to their full potential. Our desire to help with the Irene Wortham Center, which works with a lot of children and adults with special needs. There's just a lot of ways that we express our commitment to the community and those with special needs throughout the year. But this is really the highlight of our calendar. As I've been a member for almost 10 years, and this is something I look forward to every year. And I know, especially working on it for 6 months of the year as the chair of the committee, it's something you look forward to.
Well, that's right. And as I read the national news magazines, I find that the colleges and universities are beginning, and already are, emphasizing community service as part of their curriculum. They don't just want those kids to go to school and learn mathematics and science. They want them to learn other things about living a human life when they get out of school. So they're finding things for these kids to do and pushing them into it. to become involved with community service at the college level in the communities where the college is. Interesting to see. Education goes beyond academics.
Sure, and service learning, as you say, is a big part of that. I know both at UNCA and Warren Wilson College, among other local schools like Mars Hill, service learning is part of the curriculum. It's part of the expectation for young people. So to show a commitment to that as students in high school, that's going to speak well for someone who's trying to apply and find out how to pay for it.
Well, that's right. It costs more and more and more to go to college, even in North Carolina, at a state school, which is the bargain compared to private schools. But even here, our scholarship is one step forward. We don't go all the way. I wish we could.
No. Well, and that's, I think the interview I heard with Roy Williams, that it was $500 scholarship that back in 40 years ago, that might have paid for the tuition for a year, I bet, and possibly left a little bit for books, whereas now, $1,500 a year for 2 years is not going to cover everything, but as you say, it's going to be a good match. And I think I've heard that other people have discussed that when a student shows up in February or March announcing to their high school, their college admissions office that they've received our scholarship, that often leads to other awards, including, I think, one of our students last year from Asheville High School was given, it was announced about 2 months later that he'd gotten a full ride to go to Johns Hopkins. And, I think our recognition played a part in that. I would hope. I think, sometimes we can find what, the jewels, laying around in the rough that the colleges might then recognize how much they can do to bring it out even further.
Well, that's right. I think probably the stars of our program have yet to be seen, because that'll show up if these students go to college and come back here.
Sure.
And bring back their degrees and their professions, and hopefully have been inspired from here and through their college to come back and do the same thing when they get back to town here and become a better community as a result of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, building a stronger and healthier community is certainly at the core of what we're all about as Civitans. And to see young people who, already have a vision of themselves serving in the healthcare or in education or in business or in some other form of critical support for our community and for the families and children who live here is going to be, what makes us feel like we've done the right thing, I think. That's what, and being a club that's been around for 86 years, I think we can have a perspective of what it takes to continue to go higher, and know that each generation is going to stand on the shoulders of that came before it.
Well, I think too, I think we can be very proud of ourselves and pat ourselves on the back, because my surveys of our program compared with that of other service clubs in Buncombe County, we are really the premier scholarship program, and we should be very proud of that. Now, there are bigger scholarships put out by foundations and corporations and so forth, but I think the same thing that makes us so proud here in Buncombe County applies to all of Western North Carolina. And if I could find the research, I'd love to find that's true for the whole state. Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah.
Well, I think that we are a very special community and have generations and generations of people who really cared about our children and our grandchildren, and making it possible for them to succeed and to lift up and be prepared to lift up the next generation. And obviously we've got needs to continue that. And I think the spirit of Civitan, which we try to promote in many other ways, in our programs and in our, it's the type of thing that we'd like to invite other folks to come join us. As this Spirit of Civitan television series gets cranked up, as people watch us, I think we were hoping that people will come and join us in membership. We have many years to come for us to provide very high level of community service ourselves, and we want to be an inspiration to others to be a part of that, whether as Civitans or in other ways of life. It's going to be important that we continue to do that, because the future is, we have many challenges as a country and as a community, but overall, I think especially when you see the kind of young people that we're going to present to today, it makes you have faith and hope in the future, and it's not all as bad as what you might feel like after seeing, a train wreck or, some drive-by shooting or something that's emphasized in some of what the media can emphasize. So hopefully to see what, young people who are really making a difference are doing will give people some hope that everybody can hold up a little piece of the sky in making this a better place to live. I think with that, I'm looking forward to our ceremony today, and congratulations on all the hard work of your committee, and you'll be introducing the members of the committee as we go on today, and thank you for all the hard work that you put into this.
Very good.
All right, thanks, Cal. All right.
Thank you.
I'm Keith Thompson, and I am past president of Asheville Civitan Club and the chairman of the Scholarship Committee. So some of you who've heard from me this year, I thank you for all that you've done, especially the counselors, to make this a success. Reach out to your students and help us select just outstanding students year after year. This is the height of our year as Asheville Civitan Club, because it's our honor to give out $21,000 in scholarships. And as Dr. Liggett said, we raised the money to do this. We have a foundation. One of the other people I want to recognize, I took over as Scholarship Committee Chair this year, and everything was in just very good order when I did that. And I want to recognize and have Cal Rimmers, who is our former Scholarship Committee Chair, stand up. Cal, Cal is also on our board of directors, and I could not have done this without him, so I just wanted to say thank you. I am going to just briefly have each of one of our committee members at each table to introduce the folks at the table. You don't have to introduce the student or the counselor, because we'll do that up here at the podium. But why don't I start at Robertson High School, because that's where Rob Nelson, who is a community member there with Dr. Liggett, can introduce.
Mr. and Mrs. Wagner here, and Janet Greenholm.
Very good. And now if we can go over to North Buncombe, which is just to the left here. Frank Holby will introduce.
First, I have to tell you about why my partner, Charlie Mann, is not here. He called me at 8 o'clock after assuring everyone else that he was going to be here. He told me that he was not. He broke his nose last weekend, and he said his parents would scare too many people. So I'd like to introduce the people from North Buncombe, starting with the principal, Jack Evans. Our winner, I won't name. Her mother is Mrs. Jones. And look, I have to tell you, this is Judy Gentry, the counselor, because she's such a good one. We have enjoyed working with her every year for the past, well, I've been there for quite a few years. And these two interlopers here are Betty Jo Dar and Rick Farnsworth.
And why don't you go back to Owen, I believe. And Dick Richards is our member who's going to introduce the table.
At the Owen High School table, there's Megan Haney, who is our honoree, her mother, Mrs. Haney, and Mr. Wysock, that's right. Don Johnson, the superintendent, and
Principal.
I'm sorry,
You got a promotion.
Yeah. And Duncan, that's all. Oh, the long-time counselor who knows us very well, kept us straight, Sharon Bent Fender, who's a counselor at Owen High School.
from Irwin High School, our member Britt Hudson will introduce.
Assistant principal was Sherry Barnett, and the winner's mother and father is Sherry and Jay Rayburn.
Rayburn. Very good, thank you. And from Reynolds High School, this is the treasurer of our Asheville Civitan Foundation, Dennis Michael, will introduce.
Okay, it's my pleasure, number one, for name my cohort in crime, Judd Porter, who helped me make the selection out there. The principal of AC Reynolds, Dr. Regina Lambert. The counselor, Terry Krishner. The parents, Danny and Crystal Williams. And the lady of the hour, Heather Williams.
And from Inca High School, our member Bob Potter will introduce.
Thank you. I'm pleased to introduce the assistant principal of Inca, Connie Jones, and the counselor, Derwin Williams, who will introduce the rest of the guests.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to introduce Sarah Devlin, who's our honoree of the day, and our mom and dad, Mr. Ernest and Miss Robin Devlin. We're very glad they're here.
Thank you. And from Asheville High School, our member John Traw will introduce.
Thank you. First of all, on my left is Charlie Glasner, who's with the, he's the community relations representative for the school, for Asheville City Schools. Carol Ray, next, who's principal of Asheville High. Allie Walker, counselor of the class of '88. And Cynthia Pickett, counselor. And next, and most important, is Irene Pickens, who's the mother of this winner here, Tori Whitty.
Now, that being said, I want to invite Melanie Parham from Robertson High School to come up and introduce Austin Jared Wagner.
Good afternoon. I wanted to thank you all for having us for such a nice lunch. And I'm very glad to be introducing Austin because he's a young man that I hope my sons will be like when they get to be in high school. His mother works with us at Robertson, so we're very fortunate to have her. And one of the things that I always see is Austin is there often talking to his mom and sharing things that have happened during the day or just communicating. And I love to see that relationship with a son and mother. And it also kind of tells what kind of kid Austin is. When I talked to him about what I would be speaking about today, we talked briefly about his dad's illness. And his dad has been very sick while he's been in high school. And one thing he said, because Austin always contributes his good deeds to other people, he said, my parents have been so supportive. My dad always pushed me to go after my dreams and goals. He didn't say, stop and take care of me. He was very enthusiastic about Austin and what Austin needed. So he's got some great parents that have given him a lot of support. But in regards to Austin, not only is he a great son, but he's a great student in the community. He, of course, has the high academic grades, which helped get this scholarship, but he contributes so much to our band at school. He's been the president for 2 years of the band, and he also contributes a great deal at his church. He is part of a praise band. He is a drummer. And he uses those skills to go on mission trips where they have performances at night and work during the day tirelessly to provide services to others. And so I'm so glad that Austin was chosen for this scholarship, and thank you all for honoring him with that.
And while Austin is coming up, all the students are going to speak for up to 90 seconds, and their introductions are going to be 90 seconds. So everybody will get a chance to get a good glimpse of who we're introducing.
Hi, as she said, my name's Austin Wagner, and I'm a drummer. The next year I'm planning on going to Appalachian State University and majoring in business with emphasis in the music industry. Plan on going on and running some form of a music company to get people that play. I just want to thank, as the poem said, talking about my parents, I just want to thank my parents, first off, for everything that they've done for me. I want to thank Ms. Parham and, of course, the Asheville Civitan Club. I want to thank them for giving me this opportunity to get a scholarship and hopefully keep succeeding in school and going on and doing other things. And I want to, of course, thank Dr. Liggett for he came to interview me and selected me for the scholarship, and you can have these as a token of my gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm not sure everybody's brought their own props with them, but in case anybody was taking a nap from our great lunch that we just had. Now I'm going to invite Terry Kreischer from Reynolds High School to come up and introduce Heather Elizabeth Williams.
Good afternoon. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce Heather Williams. Heather is one of those students that you always see with a smile on her face. She's just a wonderful, positive young lady. She works very hard. She does so many things. I got worn out by the time I started figuring them all out. It was like, wow, where does she get time? She's, of course, taken AP and honors classes, kept her GPA up. She's also been a cheerleader for 4 years. And she got to go to competitions where they won the state competition, and they've won a national competition. So in addition to being smart, she's also athletic. She's a member of our student council. She's an officer this year, the vice president, and they're always coming up with all kinds of things to do, so that definitely keeps her busy. She does volunteer work. She does help out with Special Olympics. She helps out at the Manna Food Bank with the Children with Cancer Fund and the Salvation Army. She also, in school, is part of what we call our Senior Girls Club. And this is a wonderful organization. Obviously, they're senior girls, and they pair themselves up with freshman girls and to help these girls make that transition from middle school to high school. So it's kind of like becoming a big sister. And it's really great for those 9th grade girls because high school is really scary, and it's nice to see an accomplished, beautiful young lady come along and say, I want to help you. In addition to all this, Heather works 2 jobs. And that was kind of surprising to me, too. I don't know how she keeps all this balanced, but she does a wonderful job. In conclusion, she's smart, she's happy, she's athletic, and she's just a very busy young lady. I would like Heather Williams to come up.
Hi. I would just like to thank the Civitan Club for this opportunity, and my principal, Dr. Lambert. She's helped me out a lot throughout high school, and my counselors, Ms. Kreischer and Miss Maggie Donahue, who is not able to be here today. She's really helped me out also. And my parents, they're great. And next year I plan to go to UNC Charlotte, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm majoring in. I've explored education, but I'm not really sure. So I just want to thank you again, and yeah, that's about it.
Heather. Don't want to leave without that. When I introduce the next set of folks, if they'll both come up together, that would be good. I'm going to introduce Sharon Fender from Owen High School, a counselor, to introduce Megan Leanne Haney.
I think you have a new microphone this year. Yeah. Well, I'm really pleased to be here. I think this is the 22nd year I've done this. I was thinking the other day, I thought, oh my goodness, this has been a lot of time. So it's always fun and it's always a pleasure, and we always so much appreciate your generosity and your hospitality, and are very glad to be here. I'm really glad to introduce to you Miss Megan Haney, and she is a tireless young woman. At school, she is our varsity cheerleading captain and received the Warhorse Outstanding Cheerleading Award in 2008. She was selected for Who's Who in Cheerleading and Who's Who in Leadership and Service. She was selected and attended Cheer Hawaii USA, holding fundraisers. She held fundraisers to be able to afford to go out to Hawaii to be a part of that. And she was a member of the Senior Jaguars All-Star Cheerleading Team also. She was also voted by her peers as most spirited, which I can imagine that. Megan plays varsity softball. She is a student government representative and has been for 4 years. And she's the head chairperson and secretary of our very active FFA, or Future Farmers of America group. This year for FFA, she organized the major events such as the recent leadership conference, which was attended by that's a loud one. There we go. Okay, where was it? She organized the major events such as the recent leadership conference, which was attended by the FFA state officers, and she was in charge of all of our very popular FFA cookouts. Also, in talking to Mr. Paysauer, one of our ag teachers, he said that Megan she has a great attitude. He said she's a hard worker, and she'll come sometimes over in the summer, and she will help weed the flower beds and plant flowers and do things. And he said it's wonderful to have her there because we always have more boys when she comes. He said it's great that she would come help us out. It brings on lots of other people. And she's such an enthusiastic student and person that I can imagine she has lots of people who are glad to be around her. She has served as a volunteer math tutor 2 years and worked in the American Red Cross Blood Drive this year. She volunteers every year at the Black Mountain Center Fall Festival, the Relay for Life, and the Swannanoa Valley Animal Clinic. And more recently, she has volunteered at the Blue Ridge Animal Hospital and the Asheville Healthcare Center. She now also works part-time at Ingalls as a service clerk and bookkeeper. And I believe she's also working part-time at the Asheville Healthcare Center as a bridge builder with the residents. Megan impresses me not only with her energy and her perseverance, as well as her initiative and her friendly, positive outlook. She checks in with me regularly. She's very anxious to find scholarships. She's determined to attend the school of her choice. She is consistently on the AB honor roll. She's a member of the Beta Club. She's just a great girl. How she does all of this and works 2 part-time jobs, I do not know. She is very energetic, and she has an important dream, and I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about that.
As introduced, I'm Megan Haney, and I wanted to thank all the Civitan Club for the generosity of giving me this money to help me through college. As of 7 years old, I started out being compassionate and caring to all animals. My dream is to go to Gardner-Webb and do my pre-veterinary studies and become a veterinarian in life. As a volunteer at both clinics that she had told you about that I volunteer, has encouraged me even more to lead me down my path to becoming that veterinarian that I would like to be. And I just want to thank my principal, Don Johnson, helped me through a lot, and then my counselor, Miss Sharon Fender, always sending me all the way through, helping me with scholarships or whatever it might be, whether I just needed to talk to her for any issues or concerns. And then again, just want to thank everybody for the opportunity to have this scholarship.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you very much. We are going to now switch to North Buncombe High School, and Judy Gentry is going to introduce Tia Simpson.
I want to thank you all for having us here today. It's always an honor to be here. It's always an honor, too, to give the accolades to the recipient of your scholarship. Now, I've always been able to tell you folks that I have known your recipient for 2, 3, maybe 4 years. Well, I had a hard time really recollecting how long have I known this young lady. And as my grandma used to say, I have known her since she was knee-high to a grasshopper. So y'all might want to brace yourself. We may be up here for a while. I may have to go on and on and on, but I will try to stay within the limits. I will tell you from the very beginning that I've always been impressed with Tia. She's always impressed me as highly intelligent, mature, very warm, personable young lady. But the first image that I can remember of Tia was in the garden, helping her mother with flowers, herbs, and vegetables. And she would tell you about the organic gardening component. How important it was to give back to your environment as opposed to retrieving from it. She would also add that it was very important to place the plants properly so that there was an aesthetic quality about the garden. And she would give me a little bit more tutoring because she knew that I had a major deficit in that area. But there was always that artistic flair about Tia. Now, when she went into middle school, she began to change, just as all young people do. But she always has kept her connection with nature. She has always had that wonderful modesty about her. And she has always had that artistic flair. And you begin to see it more and more, though. Begin to be developed, I guess. When she was in the 8th grade, she let us know that she was going to enter the competition at the Grove Park Inn. You all know the gingerbread house competition. I hope you make that a part of your tradition, particularly if you have children, grandchildren. I was very excited for her, but I was very apprehensive also. She was 13 years old. She was entering the 13 to 18-year-old division. And I thought, well, maybe they will give her an honorary mention. They will be kind to her. They will give her some sort of maybe the youngest participant of that year. No, she didn't get any of those. She came back with first place. I have never doubted this young lady since that. And I didn't doubt her at that time, but I just thought, she's competing with high school seniors and graduates. In high school, she has gone on to win all sorts of awards with art. She has won local awards. She has won state awards. She has won national awards. She will be going to New York City in June to accept the highest award that any high school student can receive in art, and that is a gold medal award. And we are exceptionally proud of this young lady for that. Now, if I told you that she was all about art and nothing else, that would be wrong, because she is one of our top students. She's one of our top math students. She is tutoring math students every Wednesday afternoon. She is involved in many of our clubs and organizations, too numerous for me to mention here. She is the Beta Club president, the Art Club president. She has volunteered in numerous charitable organizations. I would think her favorite would be Habitat for Humanity. And perhaps you can understand why when she speaks with you. She's also volunteered for Eblin and Manna Food Bank. So I'm going to stop talking here because I know you're anxious to hear from this very multi-talented young lady. And I'm just very proud to introduce to you North Buncombe High School's Asheville Civitan recipient, Mrs. Tia Simpson.
Thank you, Ms. Gentry, so much. She has been there for me my whole high school, and before that, when I was little in North Buncombe, I would run around and she was always there for me. And she does so much for the school and for my peers, seniors. She's amazing. Thank you, Ms. Gentry. And thank you, Mr. Evans, for attending, and thanks for this lovely luncheon. It's very nice and honoring us. And thank you to my mom, a single mom. She's been there for me
and has helped me be who I am, and I love you so much. And thank you, Asheville Civitan, for what you do for the Asheville area. It's very impressive, and thank you for helping scholars like me and everyone here have new possibilities for going to college of their choice. So I want to either go to Savannah College of Art and Design or NC State for sustainable architecture. So this passion has developed throughout my high school, so I am very excited about making my way in sustainable architecture. So, and thank you, special warm regards to Frank Holby and Charles Mann, who can't be here today. So thank you very much.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, and we'll move on to Irwin High School, and Debbie Sexton is going to introduce Charity Ann Rayburn.
Well, I don't have 22 years in this. I'm kind of the new kid on the block. Mr. Hudson and Mr. McFarland have been really nice and kind of helping steer me in this direction. I'm the scholarship coordinator this year at Irwin High School, and so this is all new for me. So anyway, thank you so much again, and thank you to the Civitans for having us. This certainly beats school lunch, and it's nice to kind of have a break outside of the building. It's a very busy time for us as we're getting ready for next year's registration and trying to tie up all the loose ends and get ready for graduation for this year's class. So thanks for the break. Step up here. This is Charity, and I'm kind of like Judy. I can go on and on and on and on and on about this young lady. I don't have the experience in knowing her other than just since August. So I've kind of had to rely a little bit on, I've told her that it's some things that her freshman brother has shared with me, but we'll just have to see. I'd like to tell you a little bit about her achievements, and they're vast. She's currently ranked, has a GPA of 4.8. She's number one in our senior class of 234 students. And for some of you who are sitting there going, gee, I thought 4.0 was good. How do you get 4.8? Charity has taken only honors classes and advanced placement classes while she's been at Irwin High School. I don't know that you took anything less ever, right?
A couple other courses, like foreign language and
PE? Yeah. Yeah. But if it has an H out beside it or an AP, I'm sure that Charity and her folks were saying, yeah, that's the one you want. And it's been her goal for a long time to be in that number one position in her senior class. Aside from her outstanding academics, Charity is the teenager that every parent dreams for their own child to become. She is very active in her church. She works during the summer months. She strives to make her community a better place. She's an audio and video wizard, not like me. She's artistic. She has the gift of working with special needs children, which is truly a gift. And she still found time to play on the women's golf team this year. Now you say, how does one person have a 4.8 GPA and have time to fit all of that into their schedule? Well, now remember, things that I just kind of mentioned are the highlights. So now I'm going to kind of get into the nitty gritty of it and maybe some of the things your brother told me. She's very organized, obviously, to be able to balance all of this. She's very community minded. And so for the next, hopefully 90 seconds, this will be kind of like This Is Your Life, Charity Rayburn. And now some of you in here are old enough to kind of remember that show, This Is Your Life, and Charity never will know what we're talking about. She's been a member of the Mount Carmel Youth Group since she was in 6th grade. She began serving as a waitress in her church's annual Women's Holiday Celebration, which is not only open to Mount Carmel but to other churches in the community. She's remained very active with her church throughout all of her years in middle school. In her freshman year in high school, she volunteered as an algebra tutor. She served on the student council and helped with the council's fundraising committee, participated in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, the Spanish Club, and she began as a videographer for the varsity girls basketball games, which is when the coach reviews the game with the team. And her grades were always A's. Her church activities continued with her youth group, continuing with the women's holiday celebration. And then she started adding in there a little PowerPoint, helping the minister put his sermon on the PowerPoint, as I understand. Now, somewhere in her free time in her freshman year, she took a water safety instructor's class. And for those of you who don't know what that means, that is a life-saving class. Because in the summer, when summer came along, Charity, as you might think, was going to take it easy from all of her busyness in school, but no, not Charity. Between her freshman and sophomore year, she began to be the lifeguard at the Irwin Community Pool. During her sophomore year, we find Charity once again as a student council representative. She's a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, the Spanish Club again, remaining an active part of her church, helping the pastor with his PowerPoint. And she began volunteering at the State Fair out at the Agriculture Center, where she started helping to serve lunches to the fair employees. And in her 10th grade year, she was inducted into the National Beta Club for her excellence in academics. Summer comes along, and Charity's back up there in the lifeguard stand once again. Then in her junior year, you would think that at that point some of the things would have been dropping off to the side that she'd been doing her freshman and sophomore year, but nope, not for our girl Charity. She remained active with her youth group, involved with her church still, and then she picked up the Children's Fall Festival as a volunteer there. And then in the circle of friends, she became a volunteer, one-on-one caregiver for special needs children. She volunteered again this year to work at the State Fair, helping serve the meals, and she helped making teddy bears this year, which she passed out to some of the fair recipients. She continued working with the girls as a videographer for the basketball team, and she was once again recognized by the National Beta Club and served as a junior marshal for the 2007 graduating class and received a letter, and it's called the Big E for us at Irwin, which is an academic achievement. And once again, Charity was up in the lifeguard stand when the summer came along, teaching swimming lessons and guarding the community pool. And now it's Charity's senior year, which I've had an opportunity to watch her grow. She's not eased up any at all. She's remained involved with the student council and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and the Spanish Club. She maintains her membership in the National Beta Club. And this year, she did have time to play on the women's golf club, in the women's golf team. And then she started picking up work with Caleb. Well, Caleb is not her little brother. You may ask, who is Caleb? And Caleb was listed among her list of activities and achievements. Well, Caleb is a third grader, and he attends school at West Buncombe Elementary, which is in our school district, and he has autism. And she has been a one-on-one mentor, assisting and encouraging Caleb with his classroom tasks and assignments when she goes over there to visit. There is no greater mentor for Caleb to have. No kinder smile for the workers who travel with the state fair. No better representative for the student council. No better role model for all the students at Irwin High School, for the youth at Mount Carmel Baptist Church. And no better teacher for all the children who have learned to swim under your instruction, Charity. Charity is an exemplary of the Civitan's aim to develop, maintain, and promote the highest standards of conscious, civic cooperation, and to contribute to the well-being of communities. Charity is a builder of good citizenship. This is Charity Rayburn.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Sexton. I'm sure that you gave me a lot more praise than I deserve. I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody that has helped me get here today. The Asheville Civitan for giving all of us students the opportunity to go to wherever we need to go to college and achieve our dreams. I want to thank our school faculty for being there for us, and Ms. Sexton especially for putting up for me when I come down to Bucker for scholarships. And definitely Mr. Hudson and Mr. McFarland for choosing me as their honoree for this year. I I plan to attend Clemson University next year and major in graphic communications. It's something that I kind of just fell into. I enjoyed art all of my life, and after I took a digital media class last year, I decided that I wanted to mesh art with technology, and I'm hoping that maybe I will open a business someday and be able to work on my own home. But thank you everyone for bringing me here today, and I just want to let you know how appreciative I am of all of this. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. And thank you. And now we're going to go to Inca High School, to Derwin Williams, counselor there, to introduce Sarah Devlin.
Good afternoon. On behalf of Inca High School, I would like to say thank you to the Asheville Civitan Club for the gifts of your time and money to our students. Also to Mr. Robert Potter and Miss Liz Huseman for your work with our students. Thank you very much. And now for some glimpses into the major achievements of our honoree, Miss Sarah Elise Devlin. This is a young lady who is not afraid to get out of her comfort zone in helping other people. As a volunteer in the Earning by Learning program, she tested children for comprehension on books that they had read and determined whether or not they qualified for cash awards based on the results. She also took kickboxing lessons as part of her senior English project. Then she used the knowledge and the skills that she gained to teach self-defense classes at the ABCCM Women and Children's Shelter. So she doesn't mind trying something new. This is a young lady who has made a substantial commitment to the volunteer program at Mission Hospital. Sarah started off as a junior volunteer, and then she moved to the position of junior volunteer leader, where she has responsibility to supervise other junior volunteers, coordinate their assignments, evaluate their performance, and plan special activities. As of this date, she has given nearly 800 hours of her time to Mission Hospital during her high school career. The number really speaks to me when I realize that it's equal to 5 months of full-time work that she's given to Mission Hospital. Because of this incredible commitment to serving other people, in May at our school awards ceremony, I'm going to be presenting Sarah with a letter from President Bush congratulating her on receiving the President's Volunteer Service Award. Finally, Sarah's a young lady who is accomplished academically. She is ranked in the top 6% of her graduating class. She's in the National Honor Society. She's been on the A or the AB honor roll during her entire high school career. She is going to be recognized later this month as one of the top scholars in Buncombe County. She has been rewarded for her academic achievements with offers of admission from High Point University and UNC Charlotte. Additionally, Catawba College has invited her to join their honors program in the fall. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Inca High School's Asheville Civitan Club Scholarship winner, Miss Sarah Elise Devlin.
Hi, like you said, my name is Sarah, and I just want to thank all of you guys for giving me this opportunity to take part of the financial burden of college off, and I really appreciate being able to go to a college of my choice. Speaking of that, in August of 2008, I plan to attend Catawba College. I'm going to major in biology and hopefully minor in Spanish. After receiving my bachelor's degree from Catawba, I plan to go to either the Pennsylvania College of Optometry or the University of Alabama at Birmingham to attend optometry school and become a licensed optometrist. My part-time job at Asheville Vision Associates has truly sparked my interest in this. I got that job from volunteering at the hospital, and the doctors there have truly been fantastic mentors for me, and I've learned so much. So I'm really confident about my career choice. I'm really excited about being able to go into that field. After finishing optometry school, I plan to move back to Asheville. I would like to start my own practice one day, and I look forward to achieving my career goals and really being able to give back to my community everything that they've given me. So thank you to my mom and dad and Mr. Williams and the administration at my school. Miss Connie Jones is here today. And Mr. Potter for interviewing me, and all of the very nice people that have helped me out with this scholarship from the Civitan Club. So, thank you.
Congratulations.
And while I invite, last but not least, Asheville High School, Counselor Allie Walker is going to introduce Tori White. And I just want to say that I know Tori from several years of seeing her around being a leader at Asheville High. So among all of you students, we're very proud to be able to recognize you today. But y'all come on up. And I want to invite Sarah to actually, when she's in Birmingham, to go to the Civitan International Research Center, which is funded by our Civitan International organization, which works on causes and treatment and prevention of developmental disabilities amongst children and newborns. So while you're down there studying, make sure you go over and check it out. And as I say, this is Allie Walker to introduce Tori White.
Hello. I met with Tori yesterday to talk about what she might like for me to say to you today. And we had her 2-page resume out, and we talked about all the different service hours that she has, 300 for her senior year. And she didn't want me to list all the things that she had done. I mean, she finally agreed to let me talk about her volunteer work in tattoo, which is a no smoking program that she's tried to help promote at the middle school and at the high school. I insisted that she let you know that she's our senior class vice president. And Mr. Traw and I were talking at lunch. We had 5 candidates that we put up at our school for the Civitan Scholarship. And when all the interviews were done, I think our interview guys were like, wow, how are we going to choose out of this pool? They're fantastic students. So for Tori to have been chosen from that pool is truly an honor for our school. So I hope she'll share some things about herself. She's a fantastic student. And as the senior class counselor, I consider her kind of my sidekick. So Tori White.
Thank you. My name is Tori White, and I want to first thank the Civitan Club for this opportunity. I really didn't know what college I was going to, and I decided shortly before coming that I'm going to go to Gardner-Webb and major in nursing. And then I thought, well, I might want to do a double major, so I'm going to do a double major in elementary education. I'm involved in a lot, as she said, school. I'm a leader. You will always hear my voice. I don't care what it's about. I always have a voice, and I always have something to say. I'm not a person to sit back and just say, well, that's just how it's going to be. I'm going to make it how I want it. I want to thank my mother. I want to thank my principal. I want to thank counselors. Ms. Walker was my counselor this year, but I also want to thank my past counselor. And I also want to thank Ms. Pam Polly, which is not here, but she's like my college counselor with scholarships. And I also want to thank my granddad, which is no longer here, but he helped me a lot. Seeing him in my junior year, my sophomore year, he got real sick with brain cancer. And I fell behind in my grades, and I had to take care of him, which I didn't have to, but it was like something that I owed to him. And seeing what he went through, but he still was a soldier. Like, he did not give up at all. He thought he could not fight anymore. And that was just my determination. And that was to see that no matter how many obstacles are put in front of me, I am willing to keep on and keep on and keep on. And I just want to thank Civitan for giving me that opportunity to keep on and keep on and keep it on. And I plan to come back to Asheville also and open up my own practice. Thank you so much.
And thanks to everyone for coming up here and braving the